In accordance with the Weddin Shire Council Code of Meeting Practice, this meeting will be recorded for the purposes of audio-visual live streaming via Council's website and Facebook and YouTube page. Those in attendance are asked to refrain from making any defamatory statements and comply with all relevant Weddin Shire codes, policies and procedures at all times. Acknowledgement of country. Weddin Shire Council would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people who are the traditional custodians of the land. Weddin Shire Council would also like to pay respect to the elders both past, present of the Wiradjuri Nation and extend that respect to other Aboriginal Australians who are also present. Acknowledgement of service. We honour our service personnel who've sacrificed their lives in the defence of our freedom, peace and prosperity. We acknowledge all of our frontline workers and volunteers who each day provide our essential and non-essential services, especially those within our Weddin Shire local government area. Attendance. We've got all in attendance. We do have a councillor who is on live stream in Councillor Macon. In accordance to the Code of Meeting Practice, we do need to formally accept Councillor Macon's streaming through Microsoft Teams there. So can I get a mover or seconder? Move Councillor Parlett, seconded Councillor Gorman. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Macon. You are formally into the meeting. Oh yeah, sorry, I'll put it to a vote. That's why I don't chair the meetings. All those in favour? Aye. Great. Disclosures of interest. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest to declare? No. Move on. So, councillors, welcome to item 6.1, the oath or affirmation of office. I'll just get a mover and a seconder that each elected councillor take an oath or affirmation of office in accordance with section 233A of the Local Government Act, and that each councillor complete the form at attachment 1 for the inclusion of the meeting minutes. So can I please get a mover? Councillor White and Councillor Parlett. Seconded by Councillor Parlett. Councillors, I was going to say we'll do that at the end, but councillors, welcome to the 2024 council. You will obviously be governing over the next 4 years. Now, this is the opportunity for councillors to be sworn in, so there's an oath or affirmation, and you've been provided a copy now. Now, I think for sake of going around the room, we might actually just physically start in the corner there with Councillor Neal, if you can make your way up to the lectern.
Good morning, everybody. Afternoon. I, Michael Neal, swear that I will undertake the duties of the office of councillor in the best interests of the people of Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
Thank you.
Affirmation. I, Chad White, solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will undertake the duties of the office of councillor, in the best interest of the people of the Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act of the best of my ability and judgment.
Councillor Niven.
I, John Christopher Niven, solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will undertake the duties of the officer of councillor in the best interest of the people of Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
do the affirmation. I, Paul Best, solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will undertake the duties of the Office of Councillor in the best interests of the people of the Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, the powers, the authorities and the discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my abilities and my judgment.
I, Simon Knowles, solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will undertake the duties of the Office of Councillor in the best interests of the people of Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
I choose the oath. I, Colleen Mary Gorman, swear that I will undertake the duties of the Office of Councillor in the best interests of the people of Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
Connery.
I, Jan Montgomery, swear that I will undertake the duties of the Office of Councillor in the best interests of the people of Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and that I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
Councillor Howlett.
I, Jane Khaled, swear that I will undertake the duties of the Office of Councillor in the best interests of the people of Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretions vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
Thank you, Councillor Pollock. Councillor Macon.
I, Wesley Thomas Macon, swear that I will undertake the duties of the Office of Councillor in the best interest of the people of the Weddin Shire and the Weddin Shire Council, and I will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities and discretion vested in me under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of my ability and judgment.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. I will put that motion forward to be put, please. All those in favour? And congratulations. Moving on, councillors, item 6.2 is the election of mayor and deputy mayor. That the recommendation is that council note the information contained in this report and that council resolves that the method of voting for the position of mayor and deputy mayor to be determined by the ballots that have been outlined in this paper, which is open, ordinary or preferential. Can I get a mover for the motion? Councillor Light, seconded by Councillor Parlett. We've obviously left this one open for councillors to consider which way they would like to vote both the mayor and deputy mayor position, noting that it is generally recommended that the same voting methods used for both, but you don't need to actually do for both. It's just a recommendation there. So It's up to councillors in terms of how you would like to elect the mayor and deputy, in terms of whether it's open, ordinary or preferential.
I've just got a question. It sort of depends upon Councillor Macon in some ways, that if he is nominated for any positions, whether or not we do, because
Yes.
as being remote, you can't vote if it's a written. Is that okay to ask that question now?
Councillor Macon, did you want to respond to that?
Was that to me? Sorry, Maureen?
Yes, Councillor Macon, it was just in relation to the role of mayor or deputy mayor, and whether or not, because as you're aware that if you are streaming, that you are unable to participate in the voting of mayor or deputy in the council, just for confirming if you were nominating yourself for either of those positions.
I was going to nominate the deputy mayor, but I didn't get a seconder by the 4 o'clock deadline.
That makes a difference then.
Yeah, so I will put it to a vote. If all those in favour of open, show of hands. Four.
Meaning or open ballot, meaning.
Yeah, open a show of hands.
Show of hands.
I was just going to go through the different ones. So that's 4 for show of hands. And Councillor Macon. Yeah, no worries. So the preferred voting method will be open ballot. Can I put that to the council now? All in favour? No worries. Item 6.3 is the election of mayor. So the recommendation that following the local government elections, council elect the mayor for a 2-year term of council to September 2026, and that council's determined that the voting method will be open and a show of hands. Now, councillors, I resume the role of returning officer. I now invite nominations for the position of mayor for the Weddin Shire Council for a 2-year period. In accordance with the Local Government General Regulation 2021, 2 or more councillors may nominate a councillor, one of whom may be the nominee for the position of mayor. Nominations must be in writing and the nominee must consent to their nomination in writing. Councillors, I have received nominations for the role of mayor. So, Councillor Paul Bess, nominated by Councillor Chad White and Councillor Michael Neal, and Councillor Paul Bess, you have accepted that nomination? Yes. Second nomination, again, Councillor Paul Bess. First nomination, nominated 1 is Councillor Simon Rolls, and the second, seconded by Councillor Colleen Gorman, and Councillor Bess, you have accepted that nomination. Is there any more last minute nominations? No. As there is only one nominee for the role of mayor, I declare that Councillor Paul Bess is elected as the mayor for the ensuing 2 years. Congratulations. So we will put that motion forward for the councillors. All those in favour? Item 6.4 is the election of Deputy Mayor, similar to item 6.3. So following the local government elections, Council must elect the Deputy Mayor for a 2-year term of Council to September 2026. You have previously determined that it will be done by open ballot. Can I please get a mover and seconder? Councillor White, Councillor Best. As returning officer, I now invite nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor for Weddin Shire Council for a 2-year period. In accordance with the Local Government General Regulation 2021, 2 or more councillors may nominate a councillor, one of whom may be the nominee for the position of Deputy Mayor. Nominations must be in writing and the nominee must consent to their nomination in writing. I have received nominations for the role of the Deputy Mayor. Councillor Colleen Gorman, nominated by Councillor Gorman and seconded by Councillor Simon Rolls. Councillor Gorman, you have accepted that nomination. Councillor Chad White, nominated by Councillor Chad White, seconded by Councillor Michael Neal. Councillor White, you've accepted that nomination. Councillor Colleen Gorman, nominated by Councillor Michael Neal and seconded by Councillor Paul Best. Councillor Gorman, you have accepted that nomination. As there is a contest and councillors have elected to do open ballot, I will now put that to the group in order. So Councillor Gorman, all those in favour of Councillor Gorman for Deputy Mayor, show of hands please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Councillor Gorman, congratulations. As there was a contest, I now declare that Councillor Colleen Gorman is elected as Deputy Mayor for the ensuing 2 years. So councillors, I'll just put that motion to the council. All those in favour? Aye. Thank you. Mr Mayor, if you can please resume the seat. Yes.
We have a little speech prepared, thank you. Not long. The councillors, GM and directors, and anyone live streaming it. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate all the councillors on your election. And thank you very much for the honour of serving today as your mayor. I would like to express my gratitude for all support in appointing me to this position. And I'd also like to thank all the residents who voted for me, which got me to be elected. I'd also like to take a moment to recognise our former mayor. Thank you, Craig Bembridge, for all your hard work, your leadership and your friendship over the last term, and that has set a really strong foundation up for this new council. To the previous councillors and everybody who ran for election, thank you for your passion and commitment to our community. It certainly takes a lot of courage to not just talk about it, to actually step up and do it, and I admire all your efforts and all the hard work you put in. As we move forward as a new council, I urge that everyone, the councillors, collaborate closely, not only amongst yourselves, but also with the General Manager and the Directors. In my experience, they are terrific resources, and they are just as passionate about us creating a wonderful Shire as what we are. Let's keep all discussions respectful and let's focus on the future of our Shire. We need to think strategically. As a staff member suggested the other day, this council should focus on what this community will look like in 10 years' time, and the decisions that we make in this room should reflect that vision. I promise to do my best as a leader and to try and support you, and I welcome open communications, so don't hesitate to bring me all your concerns and your ideas. We need to focus a culture of transparency and a culture of teamwork that we can all be really proud of. I know we face our share of challenges in this term. I won't go into them right now, but I see many opportunities as well as ahead. So let's work together to ensure that the Weddin Shire remains a community that we're all proud of. A truly great place to call home, and I thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. All right. Page 18.
Catching up. We'll take this nice and slow this first one. Yes, we'll move on now to election of the Central Tablelands Water County Council Board members. We have some nominations.
Yes, through Mr Mayor. We're just going to move and seconder for the report.
Oh yes, do we have a mover for that? Yes, Councillor Gorman, and seconded by Councillor White. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have received several nominations for Central Tablelands Water. I'll read out those names and then just explain the process, because we are looking at nominating 2 councillors to sit on Central Tablelands Water. It will be for a period of 4 years. First nomination is Councillor Chad White. Second nomination is Councillor Colleen Gorman. Third nomination is Councillor Jan Parlett. And the fourth nomination is Councillor Paul Best. I believe that's correct. No one else has filled out the form. No. In terms of how we're going to do the vote, because obviously there is multiple people nominating, there is an option to do show of hands. We thought it might be quicker to go through the process and to record names down of councillors' preference for who you would like to sit on, say, Central Tablelands Water, and then we might have to do this a couple of times if agreeable to the council in terms of that voting method there. No worries. So in terms of when we pass this around, if councillors can write, I guess, the surname of the councillor that they would prefer to sit on Central Tablelands Water, and then we'll go to the mayor. Yep, so that's Councillor Best, Councillor Parlett, Councillor Gorman and Councillor White.
So how many names do you want?
If you could just write one to begin with. Are you going back to collect it? Oh. Do you just want to type in a message? Councillor Macon can participate and you can write it into the chat.
Don't put your own name on it.
Can you just let me write mine in the chat and say Maureen?
Yes, please.
Doesn't matter who's got your name on it.
And then can you write it onto that, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Councillor Parlett, Councillor Best, 2 for Councillor Parlett, 3 for Councillor Parlett, second one for Councillor Best, 1 for Councillor White, Councillor Parlett, 4th one, Councillor Gorman, and Mr. Mayor. So there is 4 votes to Councillor Parlett, 3 votes to the Mayor, one to Councillor White and 1 to Councillor Gorman. So I would declare that Councillor Parlett and the Mayor is our 2 nominees, or our 2 delegates of Central Tablelands Water.
Thank you very much. So we've got move in a second for that, so we'll have a show of hands regarding that. All those in favour of that recommendation? That's carried. Thank you very much. So next one we'll move into committees and delegations of council and committee boards. General Manager.
Mover and second.
Yes, we need to move and second. We move that. Yes, Councillor Neal and Councillor White. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In relation to the election of council committee delegates, we are requesting that council consider council positions outlined in Table 1 and Table 2. Table 1 is in relation to the legislated and statutory committees, and Table 2 relates to our Section 355 committees under the Local Government Act. Now, councillors have provided prior nominations to these committees to just expedite the process. It's also just noting that aside from after we do the nominations of councillor delegates onto each committee, we will be looking to going out to, recruit our community members on the Bogalong Dam Precinct Committee and hopefully table that back to the council in November. The report also outlines that we are going to be undertaking a review of committees that have been deferred for decision, and that those list of committees are provided in the report, just in relation to some of our Section 355 committees of council, and then also just a consideration of some of the the community committees that we are a part of, and just formalising that process, whether or not we continue to send a councillor delegate. Then it would need to be resolved by council resolution, and then just a consideration that those committees moving forward would need to have the delegates to table the report back. But I won't hold up the conversation in this meeting with that level of detail. So again, I will just go through the process of each committee, if that's okay with council, to attack it line by line or committee by committee. So the first one is our Audit Risk and Improvement Committee. So our ARIC, we have Councillor Montgomery, who's nominated. I do believe that Councillor Montgomery, you are the nominee, and then Councillor Rolls had indicated that you would like to be an alternate in the...
Only as an alternate.
Yeah. So I might just put each committee to the vote. So all those in favour to Councillor Montgomery?
Yeah, that's always in favour.
Yeah.
Show of hands, thank you.
You should be putting it to the vote.
That's okay.
Excuse
I thought we
me.
might have been doing it as a whole lot.
Yeah.
We're going to do it individually. Or...
Yeah. In relation to the Central New South Wales Joint Organisation, that's just a legislative role of the Mayor and then the Deputy. And so Central Tablelands Water has been determined. Country Mayors Association is the role of the Mayor. The Floodplains Advisory Committee. So I have a nomination in Councillor Niven, Councillor Rolls. We are looking for 2 councillors to sit on this committee. And we have 2 nominations. Oh, sorry. Is that?
Oh, Councillor Macon, didn't... No?
No.
Okay. We'll put those to the vote. Everyone in favour of having Councillor Niven and Councillor Rolls on the Floodplain Committee? Raise your hands. It's carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, councillors.
Thank you. The General Manager's Performance Management Committee. So that is the role of this committee has the Mayor, Deputy, a councillor elected by council and then a councillor chosen by the General Manager. Councillor elected by council nominations are Councillor Niven, Councillor Rolls, Councillor White and Councillor Parlett. So we actually didn't do pieces of paper for this one. Didn't realise it was such a hot ticketed item, councillors. So in relation to that, it just comes down to councillors. We could potentially again go, if you ignore the election of mayor, we can put the names down again. So I'll just repeat that. So it's Councillor Niven, Councillor Rolls, Councillor White and Councillor Parlett. So if you could please put the surnames down, that would help with the process. Please move on over to Liz.
Get me for time.
And then also one for Councillor Macon. General Managers. So for the General Managers Committee, Councillor Rolls 1, Councillor Rolls 2, Councillor Parlett 1, Councillor Parlett 2, Councillor Rolls 3, Councillor Rolls 4, Councillor Niven, Councillor White 1, Councillor Rolls. As there's 5 for Councillor Rolls, I would state that Councillor... Oh, sorry, Mr Mayor, you should... We're still figuring this out.
We're still figuring this out. It's good. Looks like Councillor Rolls, you're elected to the General Manager Performance Management Committee. Thank you very much. Move on to the Public Libraries Association.
So this is a peak body. Councillors, I do not have any nominations for this committee. So if anyone would like to consider nominating themselves, or alternatively we can defer this to next month's meeting.
So it is a regional sort of thing. You happy to nominate?
Yes, I'm happy.
Very good. Thank you very much, Councillor. No one else? No. We'll declare Councillor Neal the Public Libraries Association. Thank you. The Weddin Local Traffic Committee. The next one.
Yes. Councillor Macon has nominated and Councillor Gorman. as nominated for our Weddin Local Traffic Committee.
Green, I suppose. Let's go again. You're getting your steps in.
You might need to print out some more lists.
That's the last one, isn't it?
It is 355s, but
355s.
probably not. So that is Councillor Macon and Councillor Gorman.
We had 3 positions.
No. Next, right. Thank you for the local traffic committee. Councillor Macon 1, Councillor Macon 2, 3, Councillor Macon 4, Councillor Macon, Councillor Gorman 1, Councillor Gorman 2, Councillor Macon 5, Councillor Macon 6, Councillor Gorman 3.
6-3. Looks like Councillor Macon is our new delegate on the Traffic Committee. Congratulations. Now we need to move into our 355 committees. We've got some roles, 3 positions for councillors on the Bagalong Dam Precinct Committee, which is we oversee the decommissioning and dam safety studies on the Bagalong Dam.
Yes, we have Councillor Rolls and Councillor Neal.
So we've got only 2 nominations for 3 positions. Anyone else like to take on the 3rd position? Very good. Thanks, Councillor Gorman. So with 3 roles and 3 positions, thank you very much. Thank you to those councillors. Yeah, thank you. That's good. Yep. Next one is 2 councillors on the 355 for the role on the Henry Lawson Festival of Arts.
I have 1 nomination in Councillor Parlett.
What, 2?
Oh, sorry, and Councillor Macon.
All right, so we've got 2 positions and 2 nominations on Councillor Macon and Councillor Parlett. You're elected to those positions on the Henry Lawson Festival. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good. So now we need to actually vote on the whole amount altogether. So the recommendation is that Council notes the information contained in the report, appoints the Council Committee councillor positions outlined in this table, as Table 1 and 2, appoints the Council Committee councillor positions outlined in the reports in Table 1 and Table 2 for a period of 4 years. Note the General Manager will seek nominations for community members' positions of the Bagalong Dam Precinct Committee and will table to the November 2024 Ordinary Council meeting for Council's endorsement. Number 5 is we instruct the General Manager to undertake a review of committees that have been deferred for decision and table the report to Council to the November or December 2024 Ordinary meeting for Council's consideration. So we have councillors, all those in favour of that recommendation, raise your hands please. Thank you. All those against? Done. So moved. Thank you very much. That's it. Next we move on to political donations and election expenditure disclosures. General Manager?
Move on second.
Oh yes, I need to move in second. If we have a mover and second for the recommendation, please.
What did you say?
We need a mover and seconder. This one, we're moving on to 6.7, political donations and expenditure, election expenditure disclosures.
Just so we know.
Just so we can discuss it. Moved by Councillor Gorman, seconded by Councillor Rolls. Thank you. We can move into discussion.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just in relation to councillors' obligations with the New South Wales Electoral Commission, councillors do have your own individual obligations to disclose political donations and electoral expenditure to the New South Wales Electoral Commission. There's key timelines for submitting these disclosures to the New South Wales Electoral Commission. Please note that it's your own responsibility to put these submissions into the Electoral Commission. They do fine people if they don't lodge their claims in, and also just being mindful that the portal can also be a bit confusing to use based on previous information that has been provided to me. The staff won't be providing councillors a reminder of these obligations. It's directly your relationship with the Electoral Commission to submit these documents in.
Any questions, councillors? No questions? No. Okay, the recommendation is that council notes the information contained in this report, notes council's obligations regarding disclosure of political donations and electoral expenditure to the New South Wales Electoral Commission, and notes the key timelines for submitting disclosures to the New South Wales Electoral Commission. Have a show of hands, please. All those in favour of the recommendation? Thank you very much. All those against? So moved. Thank you, councillors. Move on to written returns of interest and related party disclosures. 6.8, we have a mover, please. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Parlett, seconded by Councillor Montgomery. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our written returns of interest and related parties disclosure is an internal process that we just ask councillors to put their written returns of interest forms in within 3 months of being elected as a councillor, and that basically talks about, I guess, personal interests, pecuniary interests, that sort of thing, and then noting that the key management personnel, councillors are key management personnel, and you must put in your related party transaction notifications within 30 days of also being elected. This process is internal, unlike the previous report, so we will be sending reminders of councillors and chasing up this information, because we actually pass this information over to the auditors to make sure that everyone's complied with the relevant reporting requirements.
No questions, councillors? Everyone's happy with that? Yeah. So we'll put the recommendation that we note the information contained in the report. We note the requirements to lodge written returns of interest forms within 3 months of being elected as a councillor. Note the key management personnel review their personal circumstances and determine if they are required to lodge a related party transaction notification within 30 days of being elected. So all those in favour of the recommendation, please.
Aye.
All right, all those against? All right, carried. Thank you very much. Getting through there.
57.
How do you skip to 57?
I've got a mouse.
Oh, yeah. Next one is 6.9. Filling casual vacancies occurred in the office of councillors. Can we have a mover and a second for this motion, please? Yep, Councillor Montgomery moved and seconded by Councillor Rolls. Thank you very much. Mr. General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is in relation to filling the casual vacancies. As councillors are aware, election occurred on the 14th of September. If there is a casual vacancy that may occur from a resignation, for example, within the first 18 months after the last ordinary election, councillors have the option to look at a count back of votes, so looking at the candidates who didn't get elected and going back that way. Or alternatively, going out again as a by-election. The report details the information of the process and the costs. Councillors would be aware that last election we did do a count back process, and so the approximate cost of the election that had just occurred was approximately $52,000. And when we initially did a count back process in April of 2022, that was charged at $16,000, but after a good dispute process, we managed to get that cost reduced down to $4,150. So the cost does come out of our operational budget. We do have to pay for a count back process or a by-election, so it's just now for council to consider which option you would like to go with if you needed to exercise it.
Any comments, councillors? Questions?
Yeah,
Councillor Niven?
I'd move option 1.
Councillor Niven moving option 1. Yep, which is the count back.
To be clear, Councillor Niven, option 1 being a count back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As councillors, my personal opinion on this was I was sort of swayed both ways. I thought that the last process wasn't the best process we could have achieved, I think, actually. I thought it was hard on the councillors that were elected, but there is a big variation in costs. I think we should be prepared to be as I said, it was only through the general manager's work that we got it down from 16,000 to 4,000. So it could be, you know, we could be talking about $20,000 versus $50,000. So that's.
Mayor, I have a quick question regarding this.
Yeah, Councillor Macon, yep.
Yeah, so if it does happen, if unfortunately a council cannot fulfil their term, with the count back the results, the councillors approach before that happens to see if they are still interested, or do you just go off the results as they stand?
The councillors actually have to accept the count back. They will be asked by the office by the Electoral Commission.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The candidate, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said the council, yes, the candidate.
I would just like to support our mayor in his comments, and I do agree that a by-election is expensive, but in the long run it could be the cheapest option. And for those people who can think forward and who also think about possible consequences in terms of council decision making, I just think we really need to consider a by-election.
So no further comments? Has anyone got any further comments? So Councillor Niven has moved that we agree with Councillor option 1, which is that the Weddin Shire Council declares that the casual vacancies occurred in the office of the council within 18 months of the last ordinary election are to be filled by a count back of votes cast at that election for the office in accordance with section 291A of the Act, and directs the General Manager to notify the election manager of the council's decision within 7 days. So we'll put option 1 to the vote. So,
No, you haven't got a second.
oh, sorry, thanks, John. We haven't got a second. Thank you, Councillor Niven.
I'll second that, so
Council-
it goes to vote.
So Councillor Niven, yep. So it's moved by Councillor Niven, seconded by Councillor Parlett. I'll ask all those in favour of option 1, please raise your hands. Got 2. Let's make a note. So therefore, I'll ask then all those in favour of option 2, please raise your hands.
Wouldn't you need a mover and seconder for
Well, we've already got a move and second for the actual motion.
Yeah, you do, at
So
the start of it.
at the start of it, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So option 6. So option 2 would be that pursuant to section 291 of the Local Government Act, Weddin Shire Council declares that if a casual vacancy occurs in the civic office, this office is to be filled by by-election. Very good. Thank you very much, councillors. 6.1, Council's Induction Program and Capability Plan. Can I have a mover and a second for the recommendation, please, councillors? Yep, Councillor Montgomery, thank you. And seconded by Councillor Neal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This is information on the councillor induction program. Councillors have a 6-month program. We had a very, very quick, intensive program that happened on Friday. Thank you for councillors for attending that. But in looking forward, on that Friday we inducted councillors into the Work Health and Safety Induction Program and the Council Arrangements Handbook. So it's just like any employee of council would have their first day induction. Councillors ran through a very similar exercise on Friday. We are looking at a 2-day induction program with an independent facilitator. So that's been organised on Thursday the 31st of October and Friday the 1st of November 2024. It will be here. It's also for councillors to note that there is a councillor capability plan, and this has been developed using the Office of Local Government's guidelines in terms of making sure that councillors have a training and development opportunities over their 4-year term. But it's also noting that council has a pretty small budget of what we can actually allocate for training and development for councillors. And as I've alluded to in the past, sometimes people need more tools than others, and it's around making sure that we have this equity plan to actually share around the resources. It's not around dividing it up amongst the 9. There's better ways to target it. So for example, having this induction costs put out and then all of council being able to attend, that's a shared cost. But there's also obviously opportunities into the future for councillors to go away to conferences like the Local Government New South Wales Conference and whatnot should council choose to do so. So by building up and working on this plan, it gives myself as the General Manager and the Mayor to work through and come up with a training and development plan that shares the resources around.
Any comments, councillors?
I just have a question. That booklet we were given, the capabilities thing that we had that has to be filled out, that can't be filled out yet, can it?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, you can start filling it out now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's all a lot. So through you, Mr. Mayor, I have not put up a time frame to say it's due by said date. It's just introducing it formally to the council. It's been up on the council website for some time. And it's just around making sure as well that councils understand, for example, if they want to go off and do training and development, they can't just book themselves into something and then come back to council and ask for the reimbursement when it hasn't been previously approved. So it's just managing all of, anything that could go wrong. We're just trying to reduce those risks as well.
No further comments, Council? No further comments? So the recommendation is that Council notes the information contained in the report, the Council's induction of the Weddin Shire Council Work Health and Safety Induction and Council Arrangement Handbook occurred on the 4th of October 2024. The Council Induction 2-day program with an independent facilitator will occur on the 31st of October and the 1st of November 2024. Note the actions of the Council Capability Plan and note the Council and induction programs are mandatory under the Local Government Regulations of 2021. So all those in favour of the recommendation, councillors? Yeah, all those against? It's carried. Thank you very much. Flying through. Next we move on to 7.1, which is a presentation of the draft 2023-2024 annual financial statements, which I'd like to ask our Director of Corporate Services, Mr. John Thomas, to present for us, please. Oh yes, and a mover and seconder, sorry. I'll get there eventually. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Parlett, seconded by Councillor Montgomery. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So you should have the business paper 6.1, presentation of draft financial statements for 2023-2024. Should also have your attachment 1 being the council general purpose statements, but also the special purpose statements. And I appreciate you've spent some time going through those already. What I'll do, and the general purpose obviously are financial statements that get audited. Specials will as well. General purpose include all the relevant accounting standards. And special purpose are just a sort of simplified version that doesn't have all of the comprehensive compliance with all the standards there.
Yeah.
So, okay, the purpose of the report is to provide the council the draft financial statements, which you've got for the year ended 30 June 2024, and the council to refer all accounts to the Auditor Office of New South Wales for the 23-24 period. The report also provides the council an overview of the likely situation that council may receive a qualified audit. And we've talked about that as well, and that's with respect to the non-compliance of the accounting standard, reporting of red fleet, so rural fire service assets. A working draft of the 2023-2024 financial statements was prepared and presented to Council's Audit Risk and Improvement Committee on the 23rd of September 2024. Noting, and their job is to essentially note compliance with standards, making sure the report is ticking all the boxes in terms of compliance, and not necessarily to comment on operational performance. I'd like to just acknowledge and thank Luca Group, so Jeff Shanks and his team, for their tremendous job preparing our financial statements. They've done that last year, done it again this year. He's got a wealth of experience in terms of auditing financial statements, but also preparing them as well. So big thanks to Luca Group. And also I just want to acknowledge my department as well, and particularly my management accountant for their assistance in helping me to deliver these up as well. So what I'd like to do with respect to the rural fire service, the Red Fleet Rural Fire Service, at our council meeting in July 2022, council resolved not to recognise the Red Fleet, the rural fire service assets on the balance sheet. And the council are asked now to reconfirm this position, and it's, I think we'll do that at 7. No, we're doing it today, aren't we, I think? Yep.
Sorry, what was
They're
that?
reconfirming the...
Yeah, the rural fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Section 6.
So reconfirming today's date, so there's a typo there, so sorry about that. Just to confirm that is still our position. That's our recommended position to take, and as you heard before in the presentation with Luca, That's their recommended position as well, based on the commentary that they've given us. It's also the recommended position of the central JO as well, our JO, who've also said a similar, held a similar position. And there's a link in this report you can have a look at as well, which is quite comprehensive, but essentially says that we're not complying with accounting standards if we do include it, because we're actually not controlling the assets and we don't have the direction over those assets, nor can we just buy and sell whenever we want and repair whenever we want, etc. So we don't have the direction. The standard says we should have the direction, so that's why we've taken an opposing view to that and not disclosed it. Okay, so we've done a page turn previously for all of councillors as well, and you've had a workshop last week as well to have a look at the financial statements. So I won't go in detail in terms of what's in the financial statements and the highlights. They've been taken through with Luca Group and also last Friday in our workshop. The Audit Officer's contractor will be on site and he's on site this week auditing these statements. And the Local Government Act, in terms of policy and legal implications, the Local Government Act 1993 requires the Council must prepare and endorse an annual report within 5 months of the end of the financial year, and these financial statements form part of that annual report. These financial statements also need to get audited by the New South Wales Audit Office. So at the conclusion, once we've signed the accounts and approved the accounts, if that's your intent, they will go on and then form our official financial statements with the auditors. The auditors generally may find incidental changes, which they will request we put through. So that's just standard procedure. So we expect the audit office is expected to be, the audit report is expected to be issued around the 29th or the 30th of October, around that date. They need to, the deadline is the 31st of October. All right. The annual financial statements will then be placed on public exhibition for a period of 7 days for the purpose of inviting submissions from the community. So, in conclusion, the annual draft financial statements for 23-24 is now presented to Council for endorsement to refer to the auditors for audit.
Thank you very much. Any questions regarding the financial statements, councillors? No questions? No? Okay. Probably I think that it's such an important thing reaffirming that position of the recognition of rural fire service that we should actually do it as a separate item. So can we actually vote, because this does an impact on our financial statements, and I think it's important that we vote for it individually, that's all. So can we have a move and second for section 6, which is note that the council's reaffirmation on its position of the non-recognition of the rural fire service assets in the financial statement. Yeah, we've got moved by Councillor Parlett and seconded by Councillor Montgomery. So can we, all those in favour of that recommendation, please, councillors, raise your hand. Thank you. All those against? So that's carried. Then we can do the rest of them as a second. We've already got a mover and seconder for the rest as a bulk lot, which I'll have to read through. The Council notes the information in report, notes a statement in accordance with section 413(2)(c) of the Local Government Act 1993, clause 215 of the Local Government Act, General Regulations 2021, for the general purpose financial statements for the year ending 30th of June 2024 be made. Note the statement in requirements of the Code of Accounting Practices in relation to the special purpose financial statements for the year ending 30th of June 2024 be made. Note the statements to be signed by the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor, the General Manager and the responsible accounting officer. 5 is approved for the draft general purpose financial statements, special purpose financial statements and the special schedules to be referred for audit. Number 7, note that the audit opinion to be issued by the Audit Office of New South Wales will likely be a qualified position for the non-recognition of the rural fire service assets in the financial statement. Endorse that all statements present fairly the operating results and the financial position for the year, and Council is not aware of any matters that will render the statements false or misleading in any way. Number 9 is note that the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee, at a special meeting on the 23rd of September 2024, reviewed the working draft annual financial statements, noting some minor adjustments to be made prior to the Council's view, which have now been made. 10, note that the audited draft financial statements will be placed on public exhibition for a period of 7 days for the purpose of inviting submissions from the community. Note that the following endorsements or noting the above 10 points that Council will provide these draft financial statements to Crowe as our contract auditors for the New South Wales Auditing Office for auditing. Note that Crowe will be commencing their audit on site from Tuesday the 8th of October 2024. And note that following the declaration of the Weddin Shire Councils that the Council will consider the draft 2023 draft annual financial statements at its 8th of October 2024 extraordinary meeting of Council. Got through it. Right, so all those in favour of those recommendations, please raise your hands. All right, all those against? That's carried. Thank you very much, councillors. Right, we'll move on. Thank you very much, John and the Luca Group, for all your hard work regarding those statements. It's a lot of work and they're presented terrifically. So once again, thank you. And pass it on to your staff, please. Next is... Sorry?
Close the meeting.
Close the meeting, that's it. That's it. I think that's it. All right, councillors.
Wanted to break standing orders to allow councillors to say something.
We can do that. If councillors want to make any comments now before we close the meeting?
Break standing orders.
We can break standing orders. No comments from any of the councillors? No? Well, thank you very much for your participation in our extraordinary meeting. Thank you very much for putting your hand up to be elected. It'll be a good 4 years, I am sure, and I think we'll hopefully do a lot of good for the community. So thank you very much, councillors. I will ask for a move in a second to close the meeting, please. Yep, moved by Councillor Gorman, seconded by Councillor Neal. All those in favour of closing? All those moved. Thank you very much, councillors, and thank you. Thank you, Councillor Macon.